What kind of person was your grandmother?
Oh, she's just a old country woman.
She had to keep him in line, didn't she?
Boy, nobody couldn't keep him lying. He got mad, I tell you that. Yeah. But he wasn't bad. If you treated him nice, he was all right.
Grandma had always said that, you know, her people came from Missouri and Tennessee. And Grandma, of course, was born here in Arkansas. So we were trying to find which ones came from where. But a lot of them did come from Tennessee. Weren't they in? Didn't he serve in the Civil War too?
Do what?
Was he in the Civil War?
Yeah, that's where he got so bitter at. You know, he set it on the South.
Okay.
Of course, most of that was over niggers, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure was.
Do you know how long he was in there?
No, I don't know how long. I heard him talk about he got cut off from his company. He said he parched corn 3 weeks.
Oh, goodness.
You know, to me that sounds like it'd be hard to live on parched corn for 3 weeks.
I think so.
Did he doctor people when he was in the war?
No, I don't know about that now.
Okay.
Not before I know you.
So you said when my grandmother Etta was living, she lived over in Oak Mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and you lived where then?
I live in Solo Mountain.
And that's where Andy and your grandparents were living too,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know a lot of the Ballards?
Yeah, I know several of them.
Because let's see, your grandmother's people were Ballards. Did a lot of them stayed in the same area too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are any of your aunts and uncles still living?
I don't recollect them. I think they're about all dead. I tell them I'm the oldest Hilton I know anything about.
Well, I know I was tickled to find you were still living. That's why I wanted to come talk to you.
Yeah, I'm the oldest Hilton I know anything about.
And I think you're probably the only one that knows enough about Andy, you know, that could tell me that, because I haven't been able to find anything on him other than who he married and who his kids were, you know. But Grandma, what little she talked about him was just very little, and so none of her children really knew anything about the Helton side.
He had 6 children, I believe. Had Jim Helton, he lived up at Sallisaw, Oklahoma. Dow Helton, he was the youngest boy. Bob, then he was my dad.
Any of your cousins still living that you know of? That you talk to or anything?
Any of my folks?
Any of your cousins?
I don't think there's any of them there. Uncle Dal, he had 6 children. They're all dead.
How long have y'all been married?
72 years.
Goodness.
I tell them we're out of style.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, we're out of style.
Yeah.
About a year now, that's about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You be talking to people, oh,
We
my
don't
farm,
go
my wife.
anywhere but to church. We miss Sunday at church. First Sunday that we missed in years and years ago.
Where do y'all go to church at?
Well, that
Over here about a mile.
I see your Grove
Mile
Assembly
and a
of God.
quarter. Cedar Grove.
Well, that's nice that it's close by.
Yeah.
Assembly of God.
Did y'all know any of the Wades?
See what?
Did you know any of the Wade family?
No, I didn't know.
Let's see. That's another side of my, well, that's on my grandfather's side. It wasn't on the, what about any of the other Curtises other than John Henry?
John Curtis, I believe they had 3 kids. Etta, Zayla, and then
Lucy,
they had one named, I believe the boy's name,
Lester, Robert Lester.
yeah.
Did you know Zaylin?
Yeah. Yeah, we used to see them often when I was just a kid. You know. I got grown, I reckon they moved off or something, I don't know what happened.
Did you know Etta's first child? You know, she had a child when she was really young. She named him Archie. Did you know him?
Nancy, she'd been married twice. She married the Indian first time. She married him, and he died. And she married Hampton, I believe, the last time. But anyway, she had 2 children by this Indian. One of them was Nancy. And the Jess Thompson. Most comical fellow I ever seen. He used to come to our house and he'd stay there about half the time. And he had lots of Indian in him, and one day he was looking where a snake had crawled. I've seen a lot of places where snakes had crawled, but I didn't know which way they were going, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he told me, he said, it's easy to tell which way they're going. He said, well, they move the gravel the way they're going. And he said, you track a snake. And I never thought of that, you know.
Yeah.
And I got to noticing that's the way they, when they'd crawl the gravel, it'd be moved the way they were going.
Mm-hmm. Never thought of that.
This was your Aunt Nancy that had 2 kids?
Yeah, Aunt Nan, we call her Aunt Nan.
And his name was Jess?
Yes, yeah. The girl's name was Amy.
I think think I've seen that. I think I ran across those names. Hmm. What did you do what did you do for a living? Where did you work all these years?
Oh, I worked for construction. Oh, I worked in timber a lot.
What did your dad do?
He carried the mail.
Oh, really? Seems like I read that too.
He carried it from Solo to Ready.
Mm-hmm.
The round trip was 22 miles.
Wow.
He carried it road to mule.
Well, you know what? Now that you say that, I think my aunt was telling me about a picture that my grandmother had of a mail carrier on a mule, and she doesn't know what happened to that picture, but she always remembered seeing that picture, and she thinks that one of my older aunts took it, and of course she passed away, so we don't know where her pictures are, but she always said that there was a mail carrier in the family, but she didn't know which side of the family it came on. That could have been him.
Yeah, it was on the Hilton family.
Well, how about that?
They carried the mail all my growing up.
Well, that's interesting.
Carrying it all kinds of weather.
Uh-huh.
I always thought that maybe that's the reason he didn't live to be any older than he was. I seen him come in and he wore a mustache. I seen him just froze over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness, I bet. Because nothing slows the mail down, does it?
No. You had to carry the mail.
That's right. How about that? Well, so Andy made his living being a doctor. So did you say what happened to after he got in trouble and up there on that plantation? That's when he came to Arkansas,
Yeah.
and then the Ballards came down here too.
Yeah, they followed him. Yeah, all his brother-in-laws, so they can come down here too.
There is did Andy ever talk about having a brother named John?
No, I didn't know it.
I keep finding a John and Ruth Helton.
Yeah. He died, I was kind of young when he died, you know.
You know, there are a lot of Heltons when you start looking. If you start doing genealogy lookup,
Yeah,
there
my
are.
son lived down here in Dover.
Are y'all related?
I,
There's just a lots of them. And every one of them have a lot of kids and keep having kids.
yeah, like I told you, you know, I'm the oldest Hilton I know anything about.
Well, they should put that in the history book.
Dover, but I don't, they ain't no kin to me.
Well, I think we're going to go over to Solo Cemetery. That's where some of the Heltons are buried. I think we want to go by and see that. Can you
go up Old 27 Highway.
Okay.
Up there, there's a sign hanging out. The Solo Cemetery. And it's just back off the road just a little way. I'd about a couple of 100 yards maybe off the road back there.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to get out of here and let y'all push the record button. This is Clown.